So today we have we're presenting the water crisis in Somalia, presented by me. I'm Noah, Mike, Seth, the other Mike, and Vincent. Um, Water pollution is an issue all around the world, but in some developing countries is a bigger problem to handle. In developed countries, water pollution can cause diseases, illness, death to marine life, lack of hygiene, lots more complications to the countries such as like Sudan, Niger, and Somalia are some countries in Africa that are in extreme risk from water pollution. We decided to pick Somalia and discuss the country's water pollution. Um, the overview in this presentation, we'll talk about the problem selected, why this country was selected, and some basic information about Somalia. Um, the current problem that's in Somalia, the causes and effects on the Somalians that live in Somalia, and the environment. And we also researched some possible solutions to solve the water crisis in Somalia. So this is a location of Somalia and respective to where we are, New Jersey. Um, Somalia is the estimated population is about 15.8 million. The area is about 637,000 square kilometers. The official language of Somalia is Arabic. The capital is Mogadishu, and the currency is a Somali shilling. And this is just a little cartoon and infographic of um, Somalia's water pollution.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about the current health problems in Somalia. So the current population of Somalia is about 16 million people, and of those people, 52% have access to some type of basic water supply, while only 29% have access to a clean water supply. It's because there are few regulations for private water suppliers, which leads to very expensive prices. These high prices of water often force families to trek through dangerous areas to find water. And the thing about this is that collecting water is usually the women's responsibility, which makes it even more dangerous because women in this country are at a high risk of physical or sexual assault. Having to collect water also reduces the amount of time women can spend in school. Some other health problems include that about 28% of the population defecates in open areas, which often contaminates the already low supply of water that they have. The infrastructure, like the piping, is damaged, it's in poor conditions, and not working safely or efficiently. Without access to clean drinking water and plumbing, the risk of contracting preventable diseases like cholera is greatly increased. And in the last 3 years, 900 people have died in Somalia from cholera, and the majority of them being under the age of 5. And then lastly, women are forced to give birth in poor conditions, and the health of mothers and newborn babies are at stake without clean access to water. So, some other current problems. Many practices have led to water pollution, including the disposal of sewage waste, wastewater, which refers to the chemicals that have been washed down the drains from factories. One of the main contributions to water pollution in Somalia is illegal hazardous waste dumping. Many of the world's chemical industries and nuclear energy plants have produced tons of hazardous waste, and the fact that many developed countries have started creating so many industries has managed to lead to the high production of toxic hazardous wastes. And due to political instability, these countries have now used many African nations, including Somalia, as a location to dump their hazardous waste, which is of course illegal.
So now some of the effects on the environment is that it'll stimulate plant growth by introducing new nutrients, which will reduce the oxygen levels in the water. With less oxygen in the water, it will suffocate plants and animals.
Hold on, I'm sorry.
Can you go back?
I
Yeah.
know, I'm sorry. I can't. I don't know how to go back. I'm hitting the back key and it's not going back. Oh, my bad.
Um, Chemicals in industrial and municipal wastewaters can contaminate, which will reduce organisms' abilities to reproduce and their lifespan. Not only are chemicals a threat to marine life, also marine debris is a huge threat to their life. Ocean acidification makes it tough for shellfish and coral to survive. These organisms absorb up to 25% of carbon pollution from fossil fuels, and currently the oceans are becoming more acidic every day. So next we're going to talk about Somalia's water crisis and some of the solutions. This is a quote from unicef.org about Somalia's water situation, and it says, having safe waters close to home also means that children, especially girls, do not have to stress about the long and often dangerous journey to collect it. They are more likely to go to school, play with their friends, and be children. And here are some of the solutions we've researched and come up with to help solve the water crisis in Somalia.
The first one is basically following the 3 R's, which are reducing, reusing, and recycling. The government and industries in Somalia can start by recycling plastic, paper, and other waste products to keep a lot of those items from ending up in the environment and bodies of water. Somalia's government and developed countries have to prohibit other countries from using their land as a hazardous waste landfill. And these two tools are the pay-refuge and the fold scope. There are a billion people on this planet who live with no electricity, no infrastructure, no roads, and they have the same kind of health care needs that you and I have. The pay-refuge is a hand-powered centrifuge made of paper, string, and a plastic that can whip biological samples in circles at up to 125,000 RPM. This is enough to separate plasma from blood in 90 seconds. It can assist in diagnosis of infections like cholera, malaria, and other parasites. And it also only weighs 2 grams and costs 20 cents to make, so it's very affordable for lower income economy countries. Now, the fold scope is an optical microscope that can be assembled from simple components including a sheet of paper and a lens. It is affordable, and durable paper microscope, performed on par with conventional research microscopes, and it has a magnification of 140 times and a 2-micron resolution, which can view bacteria, blood cells, and single-cell organisms. These instruments combined can be used to view samples of water collected at wells or streams in Somalia.
So the PNG water purification technology is an amazing innovation that quickly turns 10 liters of dirty, potentially deadly water into clean and drinkable water. The water purification packet contains a powdered mixture that has been proven to eliminate disease-causing microorganisms, removes more than 99.9% of common waterborne bacteria, reduces diarrheal disease incidence in the developing world by up to 90%, can remove dirt and other pollutants, and it makes clean drinking water for the entire family, including infants. The World Health Organization classifies the technology as providing comprehensive protection. So to wrap up our presentation, today we share with you the information regarding water pollution in Somalia, including the causes of the problem, the effects of the problem, and some ways of reducing it. However, we only talked about one country's water pollution problem, but there are more countries around the world that have the same problem. Water pollution is a major issue that has to be addressed. We have the ability to make a positive impact on Earth just by being responsible consumers. That's the end of our presentation. Any questions?